Do you want to save more money or get into real estate without having to bring tens of thousands of dollars to the table? If your answer is yes, then keep watching because I'm going to share with you one of the best ways to do that. Hi everyone, welcome to the three-part series on one of my favorite subjects, house hacking. In this three-part series, I will talk you through the different aspects of house hacking as well as a real-life example of my most recent house hack. Numbers, walkthrough, all of it. I'll be sharing everything. Those videos will come later, so you're just gonna have to hang around and wait for those. For today's focus, I really want to introduce all of you to the concept of house hacking and the basics and high level overview of how it can be done. First off, what is house hacking? That is a great question. And to put it as simply as possible, it is using your living situation to make you money instead of entirely costing you money. How much you can make using your housing is entirely dependent on your situation and entirely dependent on really what you want. Like, you can make enough to make your housing just a little cheaper, save a little bit of money, like go on that extra vacation, or you can use it to make your housing basically free. You can use it to make yourself a profit, which is pretty cool. The awesome thing is that there are so many ways to do it. You have the ability to greatly influence that outcome. And small caveat, guys, because this is the Bigger Pockets Rookie channel, everything that I'm going to be talking about is through the context of owning your own home, which is definitely more difficult for some of us who are living in higher cost of living locations. I'm sure that there are some of you who are like, okay, yeah, this sounds fantastic, but how do I make money with the space that is under my roof? That's why I'm here. Truth be told, there are so many ways to do this. Examples of making money with your home include getting a roommate or more than one if the space permits, renting out a room to out-of-town guests through like short-term platforms like Airbnb or VRBO, and other options to house hack include renting out spaces that are not even inside your home. There are platforms that can help you rent off-street parking spaces, your garage. There's even a new one, I think it's called Shipley or something, where you can rent out your own swimming pool if you have your own private pool. And that's just like a super quick list of potential options that could possibly work to maximize your living space and improve your monetary situation. I have shared my space with people, randos, too many times, more times than I'd like to admit. This includes, more recently, having adult roommates who wore diapers, and then another one who refused to pay and refused to leave. So I feel the pain of having random people or people you don't necessarily want to share your space with in your space, because people can be weird and I never want to deal with that again. But I am still a loud member of #TeamHouseHack, because through house hacking you can have so many of the benefits of real estate. All right, so stay with me here. Point numero uno: living at a lower cost, living for free, living profitably. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the general American population spends 20 to 30% of their earnings on housing, regardless of how much money you make. Point number two: better financing. So another beneficial aspect that I really love about house hacking is the ability to lock in a lower interest rate on a property for the entire term, 30-year typically term of the loan. And there are two big things to remember here. Banks loan at a different interest rate when a property will be lived in by the buyer, also known as owner-occupants, versus not being lived in by the buyer and used as an income property, which is called non-owner-occupant. Owner-occupant rates are usually at least 1% cheaper, which really adds up over the course of a 30-year loan. The other thing to remember, I'm giving you a lot of things to remember, it is easier to cash flow positively when the payments are less, which the lower interest rate helps with. One more time, I'm gonna say this one more time because it's gonna save you a ton of money. The lower interest rate stays on the loan even if you decide to move out of the property and turn it into an investment property. The second piece I like about getting better financing is the fact that as an owner-occupant, there is the option to bring less cash to the table. Banks will require that you bring 20 to 25% of the purchase price to the table. So if you want to buy an income property that's $100,000, guess what? They're going to ask you to bring $20,000 to $25,000 to the table to close so that they will give you the loan. However, if you're going to live in the property, there are other loan products available to you where you can bring a lot less to the table. That makes investment properties so much more accessible because you can move out after the first year and then it turns into an income property. Entirely an income property that you got into for very little money down. Obviously, there are also other benefits to house hacking, such as the overall benefits of owning real estate, like principal pay down, tax advantages, appreciation, and just generally being awesome and pretending you're the monopoly man or woman. So many facets of real estate are influenced by location, and house hacking is no different. House hacking is also heavily impacted by location. These days, I live in the Midwest. Cash flow is much easier here because price points are lower. But I did start investing when I was living in Boston, and I never actually bought anything in Boston at that time. So I feel the pain of those of you who live in high cost of living locations and find it difficult, especially because it's harder to see the same cash flow returns that you would in another location. So this is your PSA to manage your expectations and the reminder that financial progress can look very different. So the cash flow won't be the same, likely, if you were able to buy a duplex on the outskirts of, say, Kansas City versus Seattle, because the price points are so much lower in the middle of the country. But if you do have the ability to buy in or around a larger metropolis, your cash flow might be lower given that the cost, even with the fact that the cost of rent is higher. But just remember, saving some moolah by getting some money in and having someone help you pay down the principal on a property that will likely hold value or continually appreciate over time is still a tremendous accelerator when building wealth. It's also it can be easier to increase the property value on properties that are higher dollar because there's a higher ceiling that you can force appreciation to through upgrades, etc. For example, it's really hard in Indianapolis to probably force appreciation on duplex to like the $1 million price point. If you can get something that's like $800,000 outside of Boston, increase that to $1 million. That's much more reasonable because there's so many other properties within like that $1 million range in Boston. I hope that example made sense. Okay, BP Rookie fam, that is a wrap on Intro to House Hacking. What do you guys think? Is buying real estate and saving money through house hacking something you'd like to do? Drop a comment below and let us know what you think. If you like this video, hit the like button and follow us for more investing tips. And if you want to follow my personal journey, feel free to follow my Instagram handle, SUNI_RAO_ Sunny Rao, or meet me at my website, graphicspropertygroup.com.